In this video, I will show you how to retrieve a statute on Westlaw by using the table of contents. This time, let's use the Animal Care Trust problem that we worked on earlier. Here I am at the main browse page for Westlaw. So I'm going to start drilling down conceptually to try to find what I'm looking for. So I know I'm looking for California statute, so I'm going to go to State Materials, California, Statutes. And here's the list of the codes that are available. Think of this as the top level of the table of contents. Now I know the code I'm interested in is probably going to be probate. So I'm going to open probate. And unfortunately, Westlaw will open this with all the divisions of the probate code already opened. Switch to a tab where I've already gone in and closed all the divisions. And I just did that by clicking the little negative. If I show you, has a little negative sign next to it. And if I click that, it closes it. So I closed all of them just so you could see the title of every division. And here they are. And you look through this and you think, well, what's this most likely to be under? And here is one of the weaknesses of the table of contents approach. If you really don't know much about law, you're probably going to go to Division 6 first, wills and intestate succession, because you're asking yourself, can I bequeath to a pet in a will be enforced? If you go there, you're not going to find anything useful. You know that from previous when we did it in print. But if you do know something about the law, you're going to know that this is going to have to be a trust. So you can go to the trust law division and click the plus, and that opens that to show you all the parts that are in that trust. And now you look through that. We call this drilling down. When I used to teach students how to do this in print, I would refer to it as the run your finger down the page method. So general provisions, probably not. Creation, maybe. Trustees, probably not. Trust administration, probably not, and so forth. So the thing here that it's most likely to be under is creation, validity, modification, and termination of trust. So I'm going to click on that. And now I can see all the chapters, and unfortunately they're all open again. So I'm going to close them just to make it easier. There's only 3 of them. There's the creation and validity of trusts. There's the restrictions on voluntary and involuntary transfers, and there's modification and termination of trust. Well, of all those, the one that's most likely to contain what I'm looking for is the creation and validity of trust. So I open that, and now it shows me every section that's in that part. So I can run my finger down the page again and look at each heading, see if it sounds appropriate, and I get down to 15,212, and I see trusts for the care of animals. And I click that, and there I am back at section 15,212. So the process itself is pretty simple. You just drill down through the code, the division, the parts, the chapters, and the sections, and try to narrow it down to the section or sections that are relevant to your issue. The problem, of course, is if you don't know a lot of law, you may have trouble narrowing it down. So now I'm going to demonstrate that process again, only this time I'm going to search for a federal statute using the table of contents approach. So here I am at the main browsing page. I'm looking for the U.S. code. Now it says code annotated because that's what West publishes, but it's the same thing. So I'm going to click on it. And this time I'm going to do something that's been in the news a lot lately. Let's see if we can find the seditious conspiracy statute. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill down or run my finger down the page looking for a title that seems appropriate. And it looks to me like Title 18 might fit. Title 18, Crimes and Criminal Procedure. So I'm going to open that. And this time I have not closed the parts, but you can see there's part 1, which is quite long, part 2, part 3, and so forth. Now we're looking for a specific crime, so obviously part 1 is where we want to be. So we can start looking through the chapters. Now we know what we're interested in: seditious conspiracy. It has something to do with treason, right? And you'll notice the chapters are kind of in alphabetical order. There's a general provisions chapter first, but then they basically go off in alphabetical order. And of course, sometimes in order to make them fit, when they've added something new, they've had to add like chapter 17A to make this fit alphabetically. But at some point, if you keep going down, you'll see they've probably just decided to add them at the end and not worry too much about that. But here's another A and B to make them fit. So we're interested in seditious conspiracy, which is related to treason, and we start running our finger down the page. Well, we see conspiracy, so we can go in there and look, but let's remember that one for now. And conspiracy is a very broad subject, so it might be in there, or there might be something more specific. And I'm seeing fraud, I'm seeing gambling, kidnapping, obscenity, obstruction of justice. There's another one that's been in the news a lot. And I keep going until eventually my eye falls upon treason, sedition, and subversive activities. Well, sedition, one of the words in what we're looking for. So I'm going to start there. And if I don't find it there, then I can go back and look in the chapter on conspiracy. So now I've opened it, and it goes straight to the sections. It's pretty short. You can see treason, misprision of treason, rebellion or insurrection, seditious conspiracy. There it is. It's section 2384. And I can open that, and there's my seditious conspiracy section. You'll see how short it is. You can see it has only 72 notes of decisions. It's not something that comes up that often. And that's how I found it, by going through the table of contents. In our next video, I'll show you how to retrieve a statute on Westlaw by using the index.